This crispy chicken is from a taco place.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place?
The taco place?
Taco place. It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Bronco fans, the new Boise State trading cards are here, and you can only get them at Jackson's. Start collecting them today.
Jackson's, let's go!
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.
It's time for the Riley and Ridge Show, presented by Jackson's on Bronco Nation News. The Riley and Ridge Show takes you into the locker room and the coach's office, giving you a unique perspective on Boise State football from two guys who know a thing or two about what it takes to win on the blue. Riley Smith was a Campbell Trophy semifinalist and a four-time Mountain West Scholar athlete who was part of 52 wins and 2 Mountain West championships during his 6 years as a quarterback and tight end with the Broncos. Kent Riddle won 7 conference championships in 13 years as an assistant coach at Boise State while working with the running backs, tight ends, and special teams. He has nearly 3 decades of coaching experience overall, including stops at Army, Colorado, North Texas, and Arkansas State. The Riley and Ridge Show is presented by Jackson's. Need a pick-me-up? Stop into Jackson's for a 16-ounce coffee for just 99 cents with Let's Go Rewards. Now, let's go out to the James Kitchen and Bar near Albertsons Stadium and join Riley Smith and Kent Riddle for another edition of the Riley and Ridge Show, presented by Jackson's on Bronco Nation News.
Bronco Nation, welcome back to another episode of the Riley and Ridge Show, sponsored by Jackson's. And today it is just me and Coach Rid. Seems like everybody I knew is doing their NFL fantasy draft tonight.
I was just say we lost a lot of guys to I think additional meetings.
Yep.
High school football practice and fantasy drafts.
Yes.
So just us, but that's all right. We got plenty to talk about.
We could talk all day. So.
Yeah. We'll still have some good stories and whatever. And, you know, it's probably too bad more people don't come down and see us in person. Never know who you might run into here. You might run into BJ Canaan or got some guy over here named Jeremiah hanging out, just making sure we're on point on this. So, no, it's all good. It's all good. And obviously there's plenty to talk about, but first of all, thanks to Jackson's, thanks to all our sponsors, but Jackson's especially. We got the cards, we got the
got the mugs.
I don't even what do we technically call those, like coolers? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
something like that. But I definitely already tore up that gift basket they got us. I put it in my locker and at work, and people have been
into the jerky, the
yep.
I did hand off the cookie because it was peanut butter, but you know, whatever. No, all good. That. But we already got questions coming in.
Oh yeah.
we're already ready to fire people. One game into the season, whatever. And I think the big thing, like I would say about that is, first of all, we're obviously not getting into that. If you know me, you know we're not talking about that. I now have, I can see yours, but I have a bizarre, I don't know, it's like the, looks like a presidential something or other. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I think that the thing I was talking to, you know, some people around here, like, and you can testify to this, but I think so much of what people see and think about Spencer and the coaching staff in general is really no fault to anybody that forms these opinions, but them on the media camera and think like they can't be stern with anybody because they're nice facing the camera. These guys have high standards and they're not afraid to call people out, hold people accountable, whether it's coaches, players, whatever.
For sure.
And trust me, guys there feel the pressure. And like you said, we're not talking about anybody in particular. And because the one thing about football, I would just say this, the game commentators and you watching as a regular fan, like just because it looks like something happened to one person doesn't mean that was their fault. They might have been doing exactly what they were supposed to do.
Absolutely. There's a lot of
and somebody else created the problem. And so we're not doing that here. And, you know, I feel good about saying that. So
no doubt.
If you got general questions, more than happy to answer that.
For sure.
We're not talking about that kind of stuff.
And it's one game. I know every single game matters, but it's game by game. We still have the whole Mountain West ahead of us. So taking one on the chin early obviously sucks, but like you said, they hold them to a really high standard.
Hurts for nobody worse than the guys over there in the Blameyer Center. Those guys, trust me, are taking it way harder than anybody else.
I live with two of them, and
and I don't care if you lost $10,000 on the game or $100,000, you know, like whatever. I'm just telling you, nobody's taking it harder than those guys.
For sure.
So they're over there working their ass off to get this thing right for this week. And it doesn't matter. I'm trying to think of the right way to say this, but it might not be fixed the first two plays of the game. I mean, it might take a minute, but you hit the nail on the head. It's one game out of 12.
Yep.
And if they take care of business, the next 11, we'll all forget this game.
Exactly.
But I'm excited for this team. I've seen enough practice to know really the Thursday night last week was probably the thing that looks more out of place than a bad practice.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen enough practices to know those guys are getting after it. They're having good days stacked on top of each other, and they had a bad day at the wrong time.
For sure. And the good thing about the coaches and the players in that building is they're going to find every little mistake that was made or something that they can change in the future, and they're going to do it. They're going to be able to go out the next game, and we haven't put our best foot forward yet. So whoever's standing in our way may watch one game of film, but they don't really truly know what's coming. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting the rest of the season, but I have full confidence in these guys, and especially knowing the people in the building, they're not taking it lightly, and they're going to come out swinging the rest of the year.
And even, you know, I see something on here about effort and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're looking at part of the play, not the whole thing. And there's never an exception for lack of effort. But I would tell you this, when I was around there, that was a big topic of conversation. Like, it will either be top-notch effort or non-playing time.
Exactly. Because that's always been the number one thing, especially coming into Boise State, is effort. And, I mean, there were some plays where you could see it, but it wasn't, like you said, you never know what was happening, but seeing it, I know guys know that they can do better, and they'll see it on tape. The coaches will hold them accountable, and they'll see that effort, and they're never going to let it happen again. So I'm not too worried about guys the rest of the season. I know for a fact those dudes do care. So saying they don't care is outrageous,
absolutely.
But it'll be stepped up, no doubt. I have no doubt about it.
And there's a lot goes into all that stuff, right? I mean, first game, they're trying to figure out all this stuff, and I see a question on here about the fake punt and how do they not know a quarterback? Well, I would challenge anybody to go out there and try and figure out 22 guys running onto the field the first play.
It made me more mad because that quarterback went to our rival high school. So it just pissed me off a little more.
Yeah. And hey, look, I know it sounds like I'm making excuses or whatever, but that's not really I'm trying to tell you legitimately what happened. It's the first game of the year. You don't have everybody's numbers.
Right.
It's the second punt of the game, first one in the red zone. So, not unreal that it's a different punter, especially because they listed a couple guys on the depth chart. But, the special teams coordinator, I've been in those shoes. Like, you're trying to make sure all 11 of your guys are out there. They're lined up correctly. You're not giving something up easy. And you're counting on some other people to tell you, like, hey, the punter didn't come on the field. The guy that punted the first time. And you may look at it and say, yeah, that's normal. Like, it's probably a red zone guy. Or you may say, timeout. That ain't right. But, that's something that'll get fixed. And the urgency of the situation. And I know there's 40 seconds between plays, but their offense is kind of hanging out there because they're near the 50.
Right.
Then they sprint off. You got to sprint your guys on. You're trying to make sure you got 11. I mean, you're talking about trying to figure all that out in 20, 25 seconds.
Yeah.
I appreciate the announcers making that point as we watch the game, that they had a backup quarterback in there, but they did not make that point before the ball was snapped.
Yeah.
They went to commercial and came back and said, oh, that was the backup quarterback. So it's not
Be
like
fair, he did look like a punter a little bit.
Yeah.
So when I saw it on the field when I was there, I didn't think of it. So
no, but
it's hard. It's hard to tell.
I'm just saying, like, and the jersey numbers kind of look similar. When you're looking from on the field, that stuff's really hard to see.
Yeah.
And not that you can't see it, and you can't know it, and all that stuff. Like I said, I'm not trying to say that, freebie, go ahead and do that the rest of the year. But there's some things that have to happen to help Coach Collins out and that stuff. And again, for the TV announcers to go to TV timeout and come back, point it out, and not know it themselves says a little something too.
Yeah, it was tough. And to be fair, I don't think any of us gave them enough credit, because watching them, especially live, I was like, that's a great team. And they started off slow, but the more they played, their quarterback was legit. They had good guys on the outside.
Player, right?
It was
that guy's going to make plays against a lot of teams all year long.
And did we play our best game? Definitely not. But I will say that wasn't some rollover team like a lot of people thought it would be, even myself. But now we played some real competition, and we're going to play harder competition.
Well, especially from the end of the year, because the quarterback was hurt, getting him back. And then they brought in some transfer wide receivers, which, I've seen people like, well, why don't we have wide receivers like that? Right. Well, get the checkbook out.
For sure. No doubt.
I can tell you, we lost in recruiting some receivers here for less money than what those guys are making.
Yeah.
So,
it's it'll be cool to see what happens next.
Yeah,
how they respond.
Somebody said that was a sick play they pulled. I mean,
I agree.
That's the flip side, right? I mean,
yeah.
I don't think that was even the look they were trying to run it against.
No.
They kind of lucked into it, and they hit a big time play, and that's part of what goes on. We had our chances before that even came into play, and we turned the ball over, and the red zone twice. I think went for it on fourth down in the red zone twice. Didn't get those. Not all those were before that play, but a couple more. And I think the penalty when the defense had a chance to get off field, and had a chance to get ball back 50-yard line, and everybody it's all learning, right? I mean, none of that stuff, you want everybody to know it and you try and coach that stuff, but until it happens, there's a lot less urgency than there is this week when it happened and it hurt you.
Yeah. And it's tough to play against momentum. You could feel it in the stadium too. They caught the momentum and they would keep going and keep building it up. And then at that point, football's difficult to go against that. You have to stop the momentum before you can truly get back into the swing of just your standard offense and defense. But you could feel it in the stadium when they hit the punt, the 2 runs. Like, it was just, they were building on it. And so for us, I think it's important that we're able to stop that when that builds up, because that's extremely difficult in football to play against big momentum like that.
Just watching last year, I mean, there were a couple games, including the opener last year against Georgia Southern, that got tight.
Yep.
And
we found a
pretty
way.
fortunate because we had a guy that figured out how to put it on him.
Yeah. San Jose, Wyoming, there was a lot of games like that.
And,
we came out over.
Ashton had hit a 75-yard run, and all of a sudden it didn't seem like such a big deal. And is that to say that he was that valuable? Absolutely. It's not to say this team's that much worse than last team because we don't have him. It just hasn't happened yet that we know exactly who that guy is that's going to make that play. I suspect we'll start to see that this week.
Agreed.
Because guys will start to step up and say, like, no, I got to make the play.
Yeah.
And sometimes, just so we're all on the same page, like, make the play isn't, I got to make 7 guys miss and break 4 tackles so I beat all 11 of them by myself. It's I got to get this block so the guy can shoot off my back.
Yep, and the consistency of it too.
Yeah.
But what as a coach, what do you say in the locker room when you go in and your team's not a bad team? They played maybe a bad game or had adversity early on in the beginning of the year, but you know the potential, and it's a team like the Boise State Broncos. What's your message when you go talk to them?
Well, I think the first thing is, if there's certain things you see on the field, whether it be a lack of effort or turnovers were pretty obvious in that one, right? 4th down, them versus us on 4th down. Like, you can bring those up. Like, hey, guys, we talk about these situations all the time. Red zone for sure, right? You want to know why we lost? Here's why we lost. But I don't think you want to go into it a whole bunch more than that. And you say, like, hey, we'll discuss the rest of this tomorrow after we watch the film.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to overreact on something that I thought should happen and then turn the film on and I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And I've already embarrassed somebody in front of the whole team.
Yeah.
Because that's a problem. Now, the flip side is when that happens and you do get the whole team in there, you've seen it, like, you're probably pointing that out to the whole team. Again, depending on how egregious a thing it is, right? I mean, if the standard's been set and it's like, hey, we said we're not loaf and jaw, whatever, then you're pointing that out. If it's hey, you jumped off sides, like, we all know that's an issue, but
for sure,
and we might bring it up, but maybe we're not going to spend a ton of time on that one. But the things that are the standards on that Sunday, or in this case, Friday, Saturday, whatever day they met. But, I think the coach, all the coaches, head coach, offense coordinator, defense coordinator, special teams have their plays. And, like, guys, these are the standards. We did not meet them, and that cost us a game. And is it hard to take for some guys? I mean,
definitely.
Yeah. I think typically you're probably trying to talk to those guys a little bit before that happens in front of the whole team.
Yep.
And, make sure they understand what's coming, because you don't want to kill a guy so bad in the first game that you're going to get nothing out of him the rest of the year.
Or shake their confidence too.
Exactly.
It's hard to bounce back from that.
Absolutely. So
but the good thing is about this team, especially the guys that I know that are still on the team, is when a coach would have that specific conversation about them not holding themselves to the standard, they already know it. And they're already in the locker room thinking it before the coach even says it.
Without question, right?
And so they're like you said earlier in the show, they're being the hardest on themselves already.
No doubt.
So I'm not worried about how they're taking that, and nobody has too big of an ego to kind of push it on other people or deflect it. It's a big thing about our culture is you accept it, you learn from it, you move on, and a big part is just
and again,
flushing it.
you've probably had guys in the game come up and talk to you about it, right?
Yeah.
Other players,
Right.
Because the coach has got a lot of stuff going on, and maybe they don't now with replay on the sideline. Maybe they do see it, maybe they don't. But some of the stuff that we can all see on TV is a lot harder to see when you're down there on the field.
Definitely.
Like, we get 10 plays looking at it, replay review, all that stuff. It's a lot harder to see. I think I saw something here. Somebody said something about other plays happen. We've talked about this forever as coaches, and we talked to the team about it, but every game, I mean, there's times when you're just totally outmatched, and typically you're just going to kind of move on after that one.
Right.
This was clearly not one of those games. I think 95, maybe it's 99% where you're not just totally outmatched, but it's going to come down to 3 or 4 plays. And if those 3 or 4 plays go in your favor, you can blow them out.
Mm-hmm.
If they go 50-50, it's probably a tight game. If you lose all 4 of those, you end up 34-7.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they didn't just outmatch us. I mean, we could have jumped up on them 21-3.
Yeah,
I mean,
easily.
We have plenty of opportunities. So anybody that's saying like, oh, they didn't come out ready to play, I would argue that a little bit. I mean, we moved the ball better
Started
than they did.
hot, for sure.
Yeah, and then we turned the ball over, had a penalty, and that penalty prevented us from getting the ball back at the 50-yard line, up 7-3 with a chance to build on that. Then turn the ball over again in the red zone later, so all those guys are going to fix those problems.
Yeah.
And I would say this, I mean, the standard was set before that game, and maybe sometimes things just happen. It's not like any of that was tolerated.
Right.
But sometimes things happen, and some of it I would attribute it to being first game and all that stuff. But I would certainly think going forward, everybody is on the same page. That stuff will not happen, or you just you'll be watching for a while
for sure.
And they're not going to just bench guys and we'll never see them again. That's not going to happen.
It won't,
and it can't happen.
It can't
because we only have so many good players. So I think that's part of it.
And the whole tackling thing, I see that a lot in the comments, and it's a fair point. I mean, there's a lot of missed tackles, not wrapping up, and they know that. Like I said earlier, I promise you, they're working on wrap-up drills all week leading up into the next game.
They probably have more live tackling in fall camp than I've seen in a long time. But at the end of the day, it's the tackling and drills and even in a scrimmage, which limited tackling and scrimmage nowadays because we got so many guys, right? In a real game, way different. And in a real game against real athletes, even more different.
Exactly. So I think it's the first week, and they're going to pick up on that for sure, because I know they hold themselves to a higher standard, but Coach D's definitely got them wrapping up, and I feel bad for Eastern Washington because they might get lit up with how we're going to take our anger out on them. So,
well, as much as every phase of tackling starts with tracking, contact, wrap up, finish, right? It's so different when you get to live action.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to mimic anymore because you go through spring ball, you don't tackle too much because there's a transfer portal after spring ball. And you don't want to get guys hurt. And then you get to fall camp and your game's 3 weeks away, trying to keep guys healthy.
It's not the same until you step on that field.
I would challenge how many other games did we see where we thought coaches that were great defensive coaches should have their guys tackling better than they did.
Yeah.
I can think of one last night. And TCU, tackled pretty well. I mean,
yeah, they did.
That was the guy we ran out of here. So
yeah, it's very true. That was a crazy game as well. I was not expecting that.
I kind of was.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. You bring 70. I mean, all new team. Bill Belichick's really smart, really good football coach. He'll get it right. But to think he was going to have it right week one?
No, yeah. It was cool. I think the first play, Emac got the ball and got tackled by Drew.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool to see.
That was awesome.
And Drew got in his face and was talking smack. So I like seeing that definitely on TV. But a big shout out to Ben Ford in the comments. That fires me up. He definitely had a great game.
He was phenomenal.
Great game, dude.
Job.
And all the adversity he's been through with the injuries and going through all the ups and downs. And he went out and dominated. So I'm excited to see a lot more from him for sure.
Doubt. The D-line, they went for it 4th and 1 early. Our D-line stepped up.
Shut it down.
Whole bunch of new guys. That was a phenomenal answer to that. LSU put it on a tackling clinic for a week 1 game. They did. They paid a lot of money for that tackling clinic. Sure. If we could come up with, I don't know, I'm going to guess like somewhere around $12 million, we could have the same tackling clinic.
Yep. And it was uncommon. And it wasn't the best we'll see all year. But the fact that it was week 1 and they were tackling like that, that's why it was uncommon.
Yeah,
so that puts it in perspective for a lot of teams that may have been missing tackles.
College football in general, I think we all need to look at this and think like this is going to change a little bit. Week 1's going to be, you're going to learn a lot about different teams.
Definitely.
Texas came in number 1 in the country, and their defense to me looked like a number 1 defense.
It did.
Their offense did not look like a number 1 offense, but it's week 1. In week 8, I mean, I'm not really betting against Arch Manning.
Right.
He had a rough day.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a rough day, but to think like, I mean, that guy beat Oklahoma last year.
Right.
Like he's better than that. He's playing against a really good Ohio State defense. I mean,
sure.
They might be scary in week 8.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll find out as we go, but everybody puts so much on preseason polls, and all that really reflects is recruiting rankings, portal rankings, and what you did last year.
Right.
To me, like the best team that I saw on this weekend, I guess it might not have been Saturday, but Penn State.
Yeah.
Who has the most continuity coming back. They got, I mean, they lose a couple guys for sure, but
Florida State looked good too.
Florida State,
I got to be down
guys,
there,
right?
Yeah, and they had a lot of new guys, but they had a lot of great play calling. It was fun. I'm a Gator fan, but I was down there with my boys, so I had to support them.
Yeah,
but it was legit.
The Gators had a good day.
Oh yeah.
Somebody put it up earlier. Talon had
USF next.
Outstanding day.
Yeah,
Talon threw for 6 touchdowns and ran for a couple.
Legit.
I mean, there's a lot going on, and I think anybody knows exactly who their team is after week 1 is wrong.
Yeah,
because there's going to be so much growth between week 1 and week 2,
and a lot of players stepping up.
Yeah, you're going to see guys. As coaches, you're going to really figure out like, okay, that was a great idea, but we're just not very good at that. Let's not do that anymore.
Yeah.
The flip side, hey, we didn't do much of that, but we're pretty good at it. Let's focus on that. And you're going to see teams just hone in on what they can and can't do offensively and defensively.
Right. Kind of find their identity.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I even think about that a little bit. Like the Eagles last year with Kellen, they started out kind of average, and it took them a couple weeks to figure out like, okay, here's what we're really good at. Get Saquon the ball. Jalen Hurts running a little bit, and whatever we're good at in the pass game, let's do that. But then let's not do this stuff. And once they kind of got to that point, they were unstoppable.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see more and more of that as we go. We just don't have the benefit of preseason games.
Yeah, it's true. And we have another test this upcoming week, and then we have a big one with Air Force as the first conference game. So that'll be a good test for the boys coming off of however our next game goes, which I'm thinking it's going to be a big win for us, but it'll be a great test going into the conference.
Oh, absolutely.
Instead of just having a slow pitch, we're going straight into it.
Doubt.
And I know that they're going to take that and really maximize how that's going to change the velocity of our season.
Alan didn't like, he said pay for tackles. Great excuse. You're right. I mean, so we're working hard at it to get better.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, we will be better. Sometimes you just need to see some live action.
Right.
But I would also say, excuse or not, it's reality.
Yeah.
Like if you pay for the best guys out there, you'll tackle well. I promise.
Agreed.
The other football is two things, blocking and tackling. I would argue that is absolutely correct by Vince Lombardi.
Yes.
But in today's game, it's also throwing and catching and defending passes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's from a long time ago. From a guy who lived in the same house as Vince Lombardi when I was coaching an Army.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That's you learn something new every day. Let's see what else we got. You guys have been awesome with questions. Now we got to get some people to come down here live because BJ is ready to buy some beers. Oh, there we go. Oh,
we got a couple.
Take it easy on us.
We always got we got some trading cards.
Oh yeah,
all that. I would say this, is it if you weren't concerned, you're probably not a fan that cares, right?
Yeah.
But I think you have to actually have some trust in our staff and our players that, sometimes you have a bad day to have a bad day.
Yeah.
And we had a bad day. It didn't go as well as we hoped. And to think everybody over there in that building isn't thinking, I'll never let that happen again.
Yeah.
Is a mistake because that's what they're thinking. Now, does it mean it won't ever happen again? No.
Right.
Because sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way or whatever. And it's funny because I was telling people, hey, as a coach, you internalize everything. We've had these you've sat in these meetings and you're probably like, well, I appreciate you saying that, but I don't know how we would have ever, done that, made it like whatever. But coaches sit up there and kind of generally for everything. Well, I would say for everything, even effort, right? Like coaches will sit up there and be like, that's my fault. I didn't make him do that.
Yeah.
Later on. But the players are doing the same thing, right? They're holding each other accountable. They're fighting to make sure it's the best stuff ever.
Yeah.
And it'll get better. We got the right people on the bus, for the lack of better term, right?
Mentality's there, and there's not a lack of talent. It's just putting it all together after a tough loss on week 1. So it's really just a good challenge, and it's a good thing to happen at the beginning of the season when it doesn't matter compared to being a game against UNLV or somebody that truly matters.
Do it now than hit a clunker in week 8 against whoever.
Yeah.
I was talking earlier. Well, I think it was you and Billy for sure, and I feel like somebody else was involved. But, generally for Boise State, if we take care of business and win, things kind of tend to work out, right? I think that was a 23 season.
Yep.
And miraculously, I was fortunate enough to have somebody be able to point out what game it was. New Mexico beat Fresno and got us into the championship game, right?
We were on the bus watching that game.
Yeah.
And it was, a week after your wife told us that there was still a chance, and we were kind of on the fence, and that all happened, and we were like, Cameron, you're right. This is crazy. Like, the ball will bounce our way, especially with all the hard work we put in. I feel like it's bound to happen. So I'm glad we got it out of the way. It's not going to be a consistent thing. So I'm honestly not too worried about it. But like you said, if you're a good Boise State fan, obviously you care a lot. You're not going to just be optimistic about everything.
Be in La La Land. And
exactly.
And I want to make sure everybody here understands that Riley and I aren't either.
Definitely.
But we might be projecting a more positive outlook here because that's what we believe will happen. and we're not going to sit here and call guys out, even though we might know what happened.
Right. And it's football. That happens. Nobody ever plays a perfect game, perfect season.
Yeah.
And those guys know it. So us saying it or the fans saying it isn't going to make them play better. You know what I mean? They already know it's what it is. So
exactly. And hopefully they're not watching this or reading Twitter.
I hope not either. Yeah.
But somebody, this is a great question.
Great
though.
question.
What does it look like when team leaders hold players accountable? You're a team leader, so
it's a great username too, Tequila Gus.
It might be Gus. You never know.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But yeah, this is something that starts in the off season. It starts in spring ball, fall camp, summer workouts. It's building a relationship with the guys around you, and the relationship between coach to player and player to player is very different. And when you get held accountable by another player that you respect and knows that they have your best interests at heart, I feel like it clicks even more. Like a coach is telling to you, and like we have like relationships where it's whatever you tell me, I'm like 100% I'll run through a brick wall for you. But when John Bates told me something, I was like, this dude truly cares about me. And when he said it, he's also doing it.
No doubt.
Being able to see him say, hey.
And then for you, same thing to help Matt Louder, right?
So same with Matt. He even pointed it out one time where we were running a seam and he kept like slipping inside or doing something that wasn't the right way. I was like, hey, if you widen it and then keep it on the outside and then come back on the hash or something, I was like, it works. And then he saw me do it, scored a touchdown. He did it next play, scored a touchdown. And I was like, it's seeing it live and seeing the leader actually do it and hold themselves to their standard makes you want to do it even more. But it always starts with that relationship. Like that's something I always hit on, and knowing the person you're talking to, because there's been guys on the team that love getting screamed at, love you getting in their face and firing them up.
That's the only way to answer, right?
Exactly. But then there's some guys that will shut down if that happens. You need to pull them to the side and have a one-on-one real conversation with them and not kind of get on them, embarrass them in front of the team. So it's like knowing your players, knowing your teammates, and how like you can communicate them to get the best out of them. So it's definitely difficult, but if you know your guys and you built that team and relationships, it's pretty easy to hold those guys accountable because they trust you and they know if they were to hold me accountable, I would listen to them as well.
And to what does it look like? Looks like a conversation. It doesn't have to be.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're not. No, sometimes you guys might be in there watching film together or something. Yeah. You're like, no.
Right.
I mean, it's not but it doesn't always involve embarrassing them or something. Now, it may hit that point.
Right.
Right? Like
that's when it's tough. Yeah. But I will say another thing
I would say around here rarely hits that.
It rarely is. But another thing too is seeing the older guys, or like what I would like to do is like anytime I made a mistake, you call yourself out on it. Like if I'm a young guy watching me kind of teach them and tell them where their mistakes is, but then I make a mistake and I just skip it and act like nothing ever happened or kind of come up with some excuse.
That's really it, right? Yeah. It is that. It's not ignoring it.
Right.
And it's not pretending it didn't happen, and it's not making an excuse for it.
100%.
It's literally talking to them about it.
Killing the ego and just moving forward.
Yeah, so. and sometimes that talk is very matter of fact.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's
right. Because at the end of the day, it's a game. Like having conversations with you and Potter, it's like I will drop a pass and I'll beat myself up for a week on it. And you guys will turn it into almost a joke where I can laugh it off and forget about it, but learn from it and move on.
Right, because everybody's got a head. You have to understand that as a coach and as a team leader, like, hey, this guy's taking it way too hard.
Right.
Like we got to get out of his head.
Exactly.
And this guy, like he still doesn't get it.
Right.
I mean, there's different conversations to different people and at different times.
Yeah,
for sure.
So great question though. I know that was a lot to unpack, but it's a difficult line of kind of balancing the rope, but also just being your true self, being humble and going out and showing that you care about them and you just want them to be better. So.
I love we got some other really good comments here. I love these, like the ones you can tell guys have just been waiting like maybe all summer to ask. Average lineman 6'2" to 6'4", which I would say ours are taller than that. QB that is 5'9" isn't going to see the field. How tall Bryce Young and Tua?
Yeah.
Both under 6 foot.
Under 6 foot.
I've seen both in person.
Brock Purdy, how tall is he? Might be
He's 6 foot.
Yeah.
But Tua,
Drew Brees,
yeah, 5'9".
Russell Wilson.
But I'm telling you, Bryce Young is 5'9" tops, Heisman Trophy. Tua, he's probably in the 5'11" range. But I feel like Alabama's O-line might be bigger than 6'2" to 6'4". And I feel like those guys see the field fine. So, again, somebody just waiting all summer to point out that Maddox is not tall. We've known that for a while.
We know that. He knows that.
Last year he saw the field fine.
Yeah.
So I did not see any problems. He missed some throws.
Yeah.
I think he would be the first to tell you, but I don't think any of them were because he couldn't see.
Right. But besides the fumble, he honestly is one of the QBs I've played with that turns the ball over the least as far as
absolutely
interceptions and missing the field. So
absolutely,
it definitely doesn't stop him.
Starts with the too nice.
Steve Air McNair, baby.
We talked about the too nice part earlier, but just to rehash that, you guys get the privilege of seeing Spencer and the coaches really more on TV and interviews and all that. And just because they're cordial to the media doesn't mean they're not afraid to call guys out for not doing things the right way.
Right.
And I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on that one, but
and I will say
again, just because of what you see does not necessarily mean they're too nice.
Oh yeah, and he has the passion, dude. Like
No question.
You step in the facility and he is lit up right away, and he's
has
awesome.
Never, as long as I've known him and as long as I've been around this year watching practice, never a problem. Never too soft, never too nice,
right,
to point out something that's not right. So
no doubt, because the standard means more than anything, and
absolutely
he holds people to
holds people to standards. So
you don't think he yells or gets fired up? It's sadly
you don't have to drop a whole bunch of F-bombs, and I'm just going to tell you, not that I've never heard Spencer do that,
right?
But because you don't do it in front of the cameras doesn't mean that you're soft. Yeah, Kellen was 6 foot. You're exactly right.
We got a message from BJ that we need Jordan to come over and ask a question on the spot. You got anything in your mind?
Yeah, I got one.
Let's hear it, dude. Appreciate you for showing out, dude.
Yeah, I was just waiting to pick somebody up at the airport, and flight got delayed. Thought we'd just head to the James and see the show live.
I love it,
we
dude.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, what are we doing on 4th and 1, 3rd and 1? What's up with the play action? Why don't we just run the ball? We brought the same old line back for the most part. Why aren't we just running the ball?
It's a valid question.
I would.
It's a great question. Yeah, dude.
Great question.
Hey,
yeah,
you got it, dude.
No, great.
Good question, and appreciate you for coming to hang out, man.
Great question, and
that's legit, dude.
I would be remiss to try and answer that without being in the game plan meetings, but I'm sure it had something to do with tendencies, trying to break some, expecting.
Shut down.
Expecting I don't think so. You're on. Okay. I think it's. Yeah, I would assume they probably went into it with a huge self-scout of what they'd done over the course of the year last year, and probably trying to break some tendencies early on. Thought they might get some easy ones. I don't think it's necessarily like, hey, we can't do that. Just a little bit tougher, you know.
And I will say, the next game it's 4th and 1. They're going to be expecting play action pass, and we're just going to run it right up the middle. It's not going to be a 2-yard gain. It might be a touchdown. But it's a good point. It's difficult saying not sitting in those meetings, because that is Bronco football is run down the middle and just beat them at the line of scrimmage. And I know he can do that. So, but I trust those guys, and there was definitely a motivation to want to do that. And it'll play out through the rest of the season. But I see us coming back.
And I would even say this. I see this Devo Bronk who disagreed with me on the which is awesome. No, I'm totally good with that. But I didn't really bring that up because I thought Spence already had addressed that. Like, hey, that's not going to happen anymore, and we'll move on. But I thought he had a good point here. You know, the other side, when you're down 2 scores, it's a little harder to run it. But I was thinking of the specific 4th and 1 and some of that stuff. Don Solinger. I feel like I do, but somebody's asking if I know a longtime special teams coach, Don Solinger. I think I do, sure. but I'd have to get the school he was associated with. So, Ned Flanders. I believe that's a Simpsons reference, right?
It is.
Not a huge Simpson guys, but yeah. Like I said, I think Spencer just following through some of these, address some of that stuff.
Trying to answer all your guys' questions.
Joe Inda, all right.
Oh, yes, sir.
They are in plenty of good hands, and I wouldn't be out here doing stuff like this if I was there. I'd be locked down.
Oh, yeah.
In the office. So
it's good to hear from you, buddy. That's sick.
Yeah. No. Hey, and trust me, I'm not. Please continue to send in comments. I'm not trying to cherry pick guys and make fun of them. I'm really not. I'm sure sometimes it comes across that way, but I apologize when it does.
Oh yeah, we appreciate it because seeing both perspectives is always good, and there's a lot of fair points to be made, but it's our job and the point of our show is to just bring from a perspective of in the locker room and what we see when we were playing and coaching on a daily basis versus kind of what you see on the outside. Because even now as a fan, when I was at the game, I started slipping into that fan mindset. Like, I mean, it's natural, but you got to know there's a lot that goes behind those closed doors that will make this change. And that's why it gives me a sense of relief knowing that they're handling it the way that they've handled it even when we were there.
Absolutely.
Whereas if it was another school that I didn't know about, I wouldn't have that trust in them, honestly.
Yeah, you'd worry about – I think that's one of the things here that we're part of, and that probably carries over into this show. BJ and Prater handle plenty of the critiquing.
They got that
so
dialed.
You don't need that from us. One of the things that I would tell you, there's definitely guys holding each other accountable in the locker room, right?
Yes.
But there's no finger pointing. Nobody's looking at anybody going, this is your fault. No. You know, if that hadn't happened, we win the game. There's a lot more of like, well, had I done something earlier, we're never in that situation. Yeah. And I think that carries over here. We're trying to relay that to you guys. There's enough people critiquing the game and trying to break it down play by play and all that stuff. And that's the part that I think we're trying to do.
For sure. Just give that insider information on how the boys are feeling, because we've been in this phase too. I remember I wasn't playing, but when we lost to UTEP 2 years ago, that was probably one of the worst feelings in the whole world. And we had to go into that locker room the next day and still have the same mindset that we're going to still try to win a championship. And it's not easy. It's not for the weak-hearted, but you go in and you find a way. So I know those guys will step it up, but there's things to work on. Even if we won, there would be a lot of things to work on. So
absolutely.
It just depends how we come out next
some
week.
of that stuff, I mean, we certainly could have won 34-7, and a lot of those problems still would have been a problem.
Yeah.
You know, if the fake punt, which keeps coming up, if they throw that over the receiver's head,
right,
you know, it's still a problem, right? Yeah. It's still a problem. And said, hey, there's only 2 or 3 teams, 2 or 3 players 2 or 3 punters on each team. And if one of them isn't back there, you are absolutely right.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, that's the special teams coordinator is looking at a million things.
Yeah.
And he is counting on some help. Like the punter did not come on the field.
Yep.
If he's only looking at that, 99% of the time the punter's on the field, and there's going to be a lot of other problems.
Yeah.
You need help with, hey, the punter did not come on the field. Plus, from the sideline, if you're looking across the field at the other team, it's hard to tell an 18 from a 19 or an 18 from a 16.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, having been down there, it's very hard. So until he gets all the way out there, it's a real issue.
Yeah.
And by that point, you're trying to get guys' attention. They're looking at you like you got your head cut off.
And I will say that would probably be the last fake punt or fake field goal against us that's successful. I believe that they're going to be looking out anytime the special teams go out. And I would rather have it happen in the first game, like I said earlier, than a game-winning fake punt against UNLV that beats us and keeps us out of the championship. So even though this was obviously a big game, our first time being on the big stage to see what this team is made of, I'm glad we're facing all this adversity and these problems and learning lessons week 1 instead of facing them in a game that matters for a conference championship.
So we're just checking here. We're already on the let's get rid of Spencer, and we want to bring in Bronco Mendenhall or Coach Eck. Who, yes, Coach Eck, that guy's a freaking stud, and I've known him for a long time. I've known Bronco much longer because I played with Bronc. But I just want to make sure we're talking about we'd rather have one of those guys than the guy that took us to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure I'm on the same page. Okay. No.
Oh, by Inda? Oh, I see. Do you like 3 running backs getting carries on the first drive?
So probably something we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Boise State very much personnel driven, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they've practiced these plays all week out of this personnel group, and they decided those were the plays they liked to start the game.
Yeah.
And it's probably not, the receivers and tight ends changed too, right?
For sure.
It just happened that was the case. Yeah, I think if they knew they had Ashton, that's probably less of an issue. But
right.
they've got a couple different guys they feel really good about.
For sure.
And those guys run those plays well, and that's who they went with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's whether we feel good or bad about it. It's just I don't think anybody's totally separated themselves yet. So they're going to kind of roll with their position groups, and later on in the year might very well see like, hey, we have our plays by personnel group, but let's just leave whoever out there.
Yeah, I think that's another week 1 thing is trying to find out who your guys are in a live game, and I think all 3 of them are great. And throughout the year, you're going to see them kind of move in their roles, like you were saying. Like one's going to be the runner, one's going to be able to go run routes in the slot or run speed option or reverse, get on the outside. So it's kind of a test early on in the year to see it in live action on who's going to be in what personnels and run what plays. But I think it's something that's naturally happened early on. Like I remember doing it in first games where we were switching personnels like crazy. Everybody was having their chance. And then by game 3, you kind of have the guy that's sticking out and running those specific plays and kind of having other people play different personnel. So
my man,
it's interesting though.
Devo Bronc, I feel like we're having a discussion, but debating which game's more embarrassing. I would UTEP was,
I would say
very embarrassing, 100%. But I could tell you games I was involved in. Utah State. I don't know. We went in at halftime down by.
Yeah. We
should have gone in probably down like 17, and we managed to throw 2 pick sixes in the last couple seconds and went down.
Yeah.
Like it could have been 35 for all I know. I could list embarrassing is in the eyes of the beholder.
It is. Like I would say UTEP because
none of them were good.
Team.
None of them were good. I just felt like this game we were never hurting until late in the second half. Like we were in this game and had a chance. And again, I'm not really arguing. I'm just saying embarrassing is all about what you.
Yep. Just pissed us off too. So I'm kind of excited to see how we come back the rest of the season, because I know we've been a part of some games where you should have won or you lose a game like that, and those guys in there are fuming, and then you feel bad for that next team because they're going to have to take it on the chin from us.
My wife would be very happy if I signed the sunscreen NIL deal. I am the worst guy ever putting that on, so I need it. Should do it, but I forget on a consistent basis. So, or maybe just don't care. One of the two. It was a nice weekend to be at the pool, though.
Yes. And had a good,
Air Force game was embarrassing. I can 1,000% was there for that one. 7 turnovers. That was awful.
There's more questions revolving around effort. Inda asked, how do you fix the effort issue? Rewatch the game. You can find multiple position groups just not giving their best effort. And I do agree with them. I watched it back today, and there were times where there were guys not giving their best effort or giving up on a play, and it's difficult to watch. But like I kind of said earlier, that's when the coaches and the leaders of the team come into play and hold them to that standard. And when a guy does a loaf or doesn't give full effort and watches it live on TV or watches it on film, I know it's a sickening feeling, and they never want to make it happen again.
Absolutely.
So I know, yes, it happened more often than it should have.
During the game,
but
very hard to see, right? I mean, you're looking at a million things. You don't have the benefit of just being able to sit there between plays and watch the replay on the scoreboard. You're sitting there watching. You might catch a quick glimpse of something to see maybe what happened, but you're not watching the entire play because you got to get ready for the next play. Or they don't play it. They're playing their whatever. I mean, there's a lot of different stuff going on there that you'd love to be able to see it all. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah. But I will say, everybody in the comments saying that these guys were loafing, not giving effort, and still stayed in the game like it's not a problem. It's definitely being handled in the facility.
Absolutely.
I know for a fact, not only Coach D and the rest of the position coach, but the leaders of the team and even the person loafing will see that. And if he doesn't feel a sickening feeling in his stomach, even if it was one play.
And I'll be honest, I have not rewatched the game.
Yeah.
So I've seen a couple, where people thought the guy was going to go down. He didn't go down.
There's a lot that goes in the mind. I saw a lot of plays that have happened like that. And
and
especially
so
with a QB like that,
without watching it full speed and all that stuff. I mean, I just think it's me. You handled it. It's being handled.
It is being handled.
And
I promise
they
you that.
know what I think we could define what a loaf is.
Yeah.
But we'll leave that to them to handle in there. And those are being taken care of. But as a coach, what's more disappointing, seeing a player have a misassignment or being out of position, or seeing the player, has a lack of effort? I don't know. I mean, they're both disappointing. And I think as a coach, you take both on you. One's a lot easier to define than the other.
For sure.
I mean, if a guy blocks out instead of blocks down, that's pretty obvious, right? Yes. I mean, the loaf I'm not saying there aren't obvious loafs. Okay. I'm not.
Yeah.
But they're both disappointing. And I think either one's got to be corrected. And I would guess at this point, we'll see new faces to create competition, right?
Right.
Because the opportunities will be there. There's going to be a lot more competition in practice. I would say this. I mean, we all see the ones that TV highlights or whatever. There's a lot of other things going on that TV didn't highlight. I'll just tell you that, good and bad. So let's be clear about that. And some are being rewarded, some are being penalized.
Right.
And we're going to see a lot of different, might be the bulk of it, might be the same people.
Yeah.
But you're going to see a lot of new people getting opportunities.
No doubt. This is a good conversation change. How different will it be on the other sideline on Friday night and having no fans in the north end zone? It's going to feel weird. But
yeah, it'll be weird from the stands.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun. We'll figure it out and move on. And the other team's going to have to deal with the students right behind them, which will be a great time. Thing. So students show up
with the backup honk. It's going to be, I know the students are going to get right because they supported us and they were louder where I think the other team on the other sideline could hear them. They would get fired up. So them being behind those guys, and student section's already sold out for this game. So they're going to have a field day. And honestly, if I was a student that wasn't playing, that would change my whole perspective. I would be ready to go in and be trash talking off rips to these guys. So I think it'll be a good time for them.
Running decks, I say suspend the game. To me, we don't have to suspend guys. They just lose their opportunity to play. And doesn't have to be a public thing.
Yeah.
It'll just be changes. So, I do think guys getting down on themselves, like that wasn't because maybe they're down on themselves. I think some of that did happen for sure, but I feel like it was because they felt like they were letting their team down or their coaches, the fans. Those guys feel real pressure.
They do.
And they need to cut it loose and have a little fun, and you'll see some of that stuff come back. So
it's a great point. How many student tickets do they sell at games? That's a great point. BJ, do you know? I have no idea, but I know they sell out that whole section. I would think around the same. They got 5-6 sections in that area, or 4 sections. I don't know, but they make a lot of noise. That's for sure. And they got the 5-yard backup. That's legit.
Yeah, I would say this. If somebody mentioned might be louder with the it might be. That's going to reverberate in there. The noise.
Louder. Yeah, they meant Matt Louder.
No, not Matt Louder. Yeah, louder. So let's just keep yelling that. Louder.
Yeah.
I think that'll be interesting because with all that concrete.
It's a great point.
They were taking the concrete forms out today earlier.
Yeah.
So it's going to be straight concrete.
The crane will be up. It's going to be kind of cool. Is it? I'm still trying to find a way to watch the game from up there. I was talking to Walker's side and Bill's side, seeing what they could do for the kid, but we'll see. But then I couldn't drink during the game, so I don't want to be climbing up and down that thing.
I thought it was going to be done by game 1. It will be done by game 1 of 2026.
Yes.
So, and that was the plan all along.
Yeah.
So.
But there's going to be no entrance over there. So one less entrance.
Oh, true.
Good point. One less entrance into the stadium. So get in there early, have a plan. I did see them unloading the beer trucks earlier today. They'll be ready for everybody.
Yeah.
So
getting started early. I definitely miss games on the blue. I know all my friends are trying to come back out again because it doesn't match anywhere else. It's crazy.
Yeah, Stein Beverage was in full effect over there today, getting ready for everybody. So they'll be there and ready to roll. Trying to see what else we got.
I know you guys are killing it with the comments.
No, this is really good.
It makes it fun. Hey, I love hearing your guys' point of view.
I can take criticism too.
For sure. Oh, yeah.
So fire away. Doesn't bother me a bit. Trust me, I've had much worse things said. I'm sure somebody will take that as a challenge, but no, it's all right.
No, it's good. We definitely appreciate it. It makes the show.
Well, Rid, I'll ask you one question based off that, because you mentioned being special teams coordinator, and there, Stacey is getting a little heat. Last year it wasn't maybe where fans thought it would be, and then game 1 they give up a punt return touchdown. You had, we don't need to list them all, but some unfortunate plays at times. The extra point I know in the championship game, right? There was snow and a lot going on. But what is that like? I guess where it doesn't go well and you're the special teams coach, and I know you're not, scrolling your name on Twitter after the games, but I mean, obviously
thank God.
Obviously he's aware, or his family's aware, getting in at the grocery store or whatever. But I mean, what is what's that like? What's that like, I guess?
No, it's yeah, I mean, I don't even know how aware you are outside of your bubble, but it in your bubble. You walk around and think like, I let everybody down. We get 2 punts blocked against Oklahoma State and lose the game. Like, I let everybody down. It's my fault. And a lot of times there was stuff, that had been covered or I mean, sometimes just bad stuff happens, but maybe it was, but you feel like even if it was something you covered multiple times, like, well, I obviously didn't cover it enough, or I should have done it another way, or whatever. And you internalize all that, and it becomes like, well, how much can I do? And pretty soon you're trying to do a million different things, and you kind of chase yourself down a rabbit hole of all the bad stuff that can happen. And I mean, I think back to when I was here the first time in 2002 or 3 or whatever. I mean, we blocked a ton of punts. We hadn't returned a punt for a touchdown in forever. Tim Gilligan returns one. Then Chris Carr returns a bunch. Somebody's going to bring up Chris Carr getting hit by the BYU punter, I guarantee. But all of a sudden good things start happening. And I was too oblivious to know, like, don't worry about the other stuff. It happens 1% of the time. And as you get older, you start coaching against that. Like, well, we can't let this happen. We can't let that. We can't let that. And you spend all your time on we can't instead of let's do this. And part of it's a risk reward thing. It really is. At Boise State, teams they're going to take shots on you because they need an extra possession, because almost every game we're going to be favored and they need help. So, some of that is out of necessity that you spend time doing that. But, yeah, I don't think, I hope those guys aren't spending a whole bunch of time checking their mentions on Twitter. I know nobody's taking it harder and more to heart than those guys, and they're working their ass off to fix it. But the other side, like, a little positive energy and all that stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if they spent this week, blocked a punt, returned one, returned a kickoff, any of that stuff.
Tequila Gus had a question in there. Did Collins just inherit a mess? How long does it take to turn around an entire special teams unit? What's your take on just in general special teams not being great, and how do you what is the way to kind of get that turned around?
Well, it's momentum, right? I mean, all it takes is one play to break it. And I think that'll happen, whether it happens this week or the following week or whatever. It takes one play to break that. And I think that'll be fine. I'm not going to guess as to what had happened or whatever, but I would say this: one of the things everybody was worried about was losing JFR. Are we going to be able to punt? That was like the last problem. Oscar was phenomenal.
Yes.
Kickoff guys were great.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. They hit one play on us, and they did a hell of a job.
Yeah, it was a big one, unfortunately, but like you said, it happens. It's the game of football. I don't think they inherited a mess. I think it's growing pains and us having the ability to come out next week and just dominate. So,
Chris,
like you said, not ideal, but we're learning. We're going forward.
Chris,
let's make it happen.
It's so frustrating. So much special teams effort and discipline. Not wrong. He is absolutely correct on that.
Agreed.
But to think that it's a big emphasis, it's a huge emphasis.
It was,
and it is not a
biggest.
It is not a breather period for anybody at practice. That is probably the hardest period the whole team's working.
I agree.
I mean, even the O-line and D-line are. It's not like they're over there on a knee going, oh, look at those guys run. I mean, it's not that. There is a lot of work going on.
Inda asked a good question too. He said, Rid, would you ever get back into coaching, and would I ever jump into the coaching world?
Riley and I are thinking about taking on some 11U team somewhere.
That would be scary.
Yeah, no. Hey, never say never. Never say never, but if I did, I would probably want a guy like Riley or Joe Inda with me. So,
oh, yeah.
You know, we could have BJ as like our SID trying to fend people off.
Yeah. I don't know. And it's a good question because I think about it a lot for sure. Love my job, what I'm doing, but obviously super passionate about football and definitely think about coaching a lot. So we'll see what happens, but it would be fun. And I think if I coached the tight ends, I would beat up on Jabril and Dimitri's edges for sure.
For sure. Jesse, I appreciate the kind words, but trust me, we had some rough days. It's great. The further we get away from that, the more we forget about some of that stuff. But I remember that's what I'm saying. I mean, I can tell you, like, almost everybody, if you went year by year, I could probably get real close to naming every bad play. And very fortunate. Some of them cost us, some of them didn't. You know, not everyone ended up being the difference in the game, but they certainly stick in my mind and spend a lot of time like, okay, how do we fix that? How do we keep that from ever happening again? And you can sit there and probably testify to like, why are we talking about this?
Yes.
This might come up sometime.
Well, yeah.
Apparently it came up once.
Yes.
And but there's things like that happen, and you live with those and you move on. And
for sure,
that's the good and bad of having experience as a coach is maybe sometimes you dwell too much on some of the negative stuff, and you're like, hey, remember when we blocked however many kicks it was against Hawaii and won the game?
Yeah.
You know, those are probably things you should focus on more.
No doubt. But I think bottom line is we didn't play up to our standard, and to have you guys feel better about it, they are not oblivious to the fact that that was the outcome. They are holding them to the standard, holding them accountable, and I'm excited to see them come kick ass on Friday.
No question. Somebody tuned in.
You guys can
tune in at 9 instead of 8, and all they've heard is excuses.
I saw that.
I apologize. You're an hour late.
You missed all the first half.
Yeah. All damage control. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I'll just finish with this. We got the right people on the bus. We got the right people in charge, from the AD who was here at 8 when we started, to the head coach, to the assistants, players, Dale Holste, the training staff, the coach Hilger. Like, the right people are leading this thing. We got the right players here. And if we think it's just going to show up and be perfect every time, you got your head in the sand. Those guys are working their ass off to make this thing right, and we got to trust them. And hey, I get it. Practice isn't open every single day, but the days I've been there, like, there's nobody doing it better than these guys.
Yep. Let's keep it going and make sure you guys. Yeah, there you go.
We got I was just reminded, tailgate at Jackson's, I'm guessing starting 3:34, something like that. So show up, take care of them, go in, get your trading cards. We'll be over here doing some kind of pregame at some point at the James. Very easy to hit both spots. Even on the way to your tailgate spot in the lot there, get in the stadium early because there's one less entrance open, and it'll probably be backed up. Yep, we're all getting Latrell a touchdown because I need my 49-cent drink.
Drinks.
But no, hey, let's get this place rocking on Friday night. We're at a sellout, so should be a ton of fun. I think I saw we're over 20-some thousand in season tickets, so take care of that. Hey, we'll be here. We'll be cheering. We'll be back next Tuesday. But yeah, excited about this game, especially. I will tell you this: after a game like last week, there's nothing the team wants more than to get back on the field.
For sure. And that's why we have the best fans in the country, because win or lose, they're going to pack this out, and this is where the guys need them the most. So
absolutely,
you guys showing up, turning up the stadium for them to run onto the field, I promise you it's going to make a huge difference, and they're going to feel it. So let's get
over
loud,
here Friday,
bring it up.
tailgate.
Be good.
You got the Jackson's tailgate, the James, in the lots, whatever, wherever you got to go, end zone, suds, it doesn't matter. I don't know. There's a million other places, but
let's go.
Get over here, get into the stadium early, and let's cheer these on.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys tuning in. A lot of great questions. Keep it coming every week, man. I will see you guys on Friday. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Bronco fans, the new Boise State trading cards are here, and you can only get them at Jackson's. Start collecting them today.
Jackson's.